Welcome to today's edition of the IntoTexas AI podcast. It's your look at AI news and trends impacting Texas. I'm your host, Shannon Ballou. Let's get started. Today we are looking at a roundup of weekly AI stories from across the state of Texas for the week of May 25th. This week, we're looking at a collection of stories that show Texas playing multiple roles in the AI economy. We're building infrastructure, developing breakthrough applications, modernizing government services, and growing companies that sit at the center of the global AI boom. Let's get started with story number one. Dell's AI business surpasses its PC business. For decades, Dell was synonymous with personal computers. But this week, the Round Rock-based technology giant delivered perhaps the clearest evidence yet that the AI economy is reshaping the technology industry. Dell reported approximately $16.1 billion in AI server revenue during the quarter, helping drive stronger than expected results and prompting the company to raise its AI revenue outlook. What also makes this story significant is that AI infrastructure has effectively become a larger growth driver than Dell's traditional PC business. That's a big shift for a company whose name became famous through personal computing. And there was another Texas connection that received a little bit less attention, but earlier this month, Dell shareholders did approve moving the company's incorporation from Delaware to Texas. On its own, that's a corporate governance story, but combined with Dell's AI-driven growth, it certainly reinforces a broader trend. Texas is increasingly becoming home not only to AI infrastructure projects, but also to the companies building and supplying that infrastructure. And up next in the stories that made news this week, Hut 8's $10 billion Texas AI agreement. Yes, it's one of the largest AI infrastructure announcements connected to the state this year. Infrastructure company Hut 8 announced details of a long-term agreement tied to its Texas-based Beacon Point AI data center project. The deal is valued at nearly $10 billion over 15 years. Perhaps the significance isn't just the size of the agreement, but again, it's the duration. A 15-year commitment suggests customers are making long-term bets on Texas as a home for AI computing. As AI models become larger and more sophisticated, demand for compute capacity continues to grow. Companies need facilities capable of supporting enormous workloads, and Texas continues to emerge as one of the preferred destinations for those investments. Now let's take a look at another story that grabbed fewer headlines, but also really interesting. Baylor uses AI to accelerate genetic diagnosis. So yes, we're moving from infrastructure to healthcare. Researchers at Baylor College of Medicine and Texas Children's Hospital announced a new AI-powered tool designed to help researchers and clinicians identify disease-causing genetic mutations more efficiently. The platform, known as Marvel MCP, combines large language models with specialized biological databases. Rather than manually searching through numerous scientific resources, users can ask questions in plain language and receive evidence-based responses. I think, again, what makes this story especially interesting is the lesson that it offers about AI. Researchers found that a smaller open-source AI model dramatically improved its performance when paired with the right tools and data sources. So in many ways, this changes the assumption that bigger models are always the answer. Sometimes the biggest breakthroughs come from giving AI access to better information rather than simply building larger systems. And in this case, the potential outcome is faster diagnosis and treatment for patients with rare genetic conditions. Now let's take a look at our next story. Texas brings AI to government services. So we're going to highlight the practical use of AI within our state government. The Texas Regulatory Efficiency Office, or TREO, recently launched a new AI-powered interactive website that's designed to help Texans navigate regulations, permits, licensing requirements, and government services. So anyone who has started a business or dealt with complex regulations knows how frustrating it can be to find the right information when you need it. So, Trio's goal is to simplify that process by using AI to help users quickly locate relevant answers and resources. While this may not generate the same headlines as a billion-dollar data center, it represents something equally important: AI moving into everyday public services and improving our everyday lives. It's a reminder that some of the most valuable AI applications may be the ones that simply make life easier for citizens and for businesses. Now, the bigger picture. When we take a step back and look at this week's stories all together, a broader pattern always emerges. And of course, I've highlighted only a handful of the many stories that captured our attention this past week. But think about this. Dell demonstrates how AI is reshaping major Texas technology companies. HUD-8 highlights that continued investment in the infrastructure required to power AI systems. And Baylor shows how AI is being applied to real-world healthcare challenges. And to me, this is by far one of the most interesting stories, and I look forward to digging into it a little bit deeper on a future episode. And then we look at the state government, demonstrating how government agencies are beginning to use AI to improve public services. So again, taking all of these news headlines together, these stories do reveal, once again, Texas is not participating in just one part of the AI economy. The state is helping build the infrastructure, creating the applications, that's supporting the businesses, and exploring the public sector uses that will define that next phase of AI adoption for all of us. And that's a much broader story than data centers alone. And it's one of the reasons that Texas continues to occupy an increasingly important position in the national AI conversation. So that's it for today. As always, we'll continue tracking the companies, investments, the research, and policy decisions that are shaping the future of AI across Texas. And if you enjoyed this episode, as always, I do ask, please subscribe, share it with a colleague, and visit IntoTexas.com for more information about what we're doing and the trends that we're tracking. I'm Shannon Ballou. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.